So, what happened last week?
All right. Section 99 of Really Wants to Be a Myth Live. We had in medias res, we begin right in the middle of the action as we continue our fight from last week. The Countess and the Count, Gabriella and Valdislav, respectively, make their appearance. And with their appearance begins the atmosphere change. We got some the braziers, as some say, or the braziers begin to flicker, and it goes dim and then eventually dark as we fight for a few seconds in this complete darkness. The Countess and Aldia have a little bit of a tussle, but the Countess uncannily catches Aldia's knife, either through her adept reflexes or through Aldia's missteps.
Aldia rolled a 1.
Yeah. That happens. Fahar shoots off a little blinding blast to try to help Aldia, though it kind of knocks both of you guys. And as an intimidation factor, while Aldia's blinded, she just goes dragon, because why not?
Not that anyone could see her.
Galahad's mount, remind me of a name? Kieran?
Yeah, it's some Japanese name, but let's call it Kieran.
The Kieran creates a gust of wind, which starts blowing away the dark fogginess, dark smokiness, which creates an advantage for us all. We start to see after a little bit. Oswald has a bit of a stalemate with Alucard. Galahad helps him out. Essentially, the peak of the battle starts coming down. We start getting the winning edge. We finally, the last thing we do is we get Vladislav. He's killed, and with that, the mind control on all the children, on the bird boy, on anyone who was in that building, is released, and soon after that, comedically almost, the guards enter, and they're assessing the situation. There are suspicions everywhere. Aldi is mostly able to calm it down, explain the situation, tell everyone what's going on here. We do a little bit of looting before that, but not too much to make it suspicious. The kids get sent to church on Fahar's request. They will be living out their lives not as orphans, but as growing up through the church system. After that big fight, we're all pretty exhausted, and Oswald's house has still got a huge hole in it. So, evening at Olia's, and it's wine and dine time. As we deserve it, especially Fahar, grabs some wine. We slap some bags, some super sweet wine. Definitely hangover material, but we don't give a fuck. It's really tasty. And then Merlin pops up and says, "Hey, you know what? It's tonight might be a good night for that Minoka cocktail." And so, Oswald gets a glitter in his eyes as he gets to teach Merlin how to take Minoka, which he had just taken about a week ago for the first time. But he knows. He gets Merlin prepared for that, as well with the Molly, and things seem cheerful. Things seem well, but as soon as Merlin comes down and he kind of tells us, he's reluctant at first, but he eventually tells us what he's learned through the what's it called?
Akashic record.
Akashic record. I didn't write it here. Through the Akashic record spell. And it seems that back in the old times, being a Mythalar was quite the privilege, and one would be very, very willing to become a Mythalar, although it does require almost, one could call it a sacrifice of one's life, because you're essentially, from my understanding of Merlin's explanation, you're essentially forfeiting the rest of your life to become this great source of arcane energy. And we ponder on that, that very, very heavy decision. And we kind of come to the light conclusion that the one who would be most appropriate for this would be Galahad. But seeing as Tyler isn't here, we might not cover that today. So that's where we left off last session. Anything I miss?
I think that just about covers it. Anything to add, Katie? You're muted?
Yeah. We're good.
Sounds about right.
Alright, yeah, let me just check on those as well.
Oh, doggy.
Oh, the big old rock in my inventory. I did find in my notes. It was not called Big Ol' Rock. It was the diamond.
Oh.
It was the diamond to give the Dreamweaver a body with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, ATT Rock is not in your inventory yet.
Yeah, no.
We will get to that.
I read through my notes like twice and was like, what the fuck is this big old rock? And then I read it again today and I was like, oh, it's the diamond. It's that diamond that I got.
The diamond for the Dreamweaver. The diamond for the Dreamweaver's body. The diamond meant for the Dreamweaver.
Yeah. The diamond which the Dreamweaver will have. That diamond.
Alright. Yep, it looks like we are good on the recap. So, it is the next morning. You, Aldia, are feeling kind of tingly as your blood has expanded into yet new powers revealed to you now.
Well, isn't that something?
Or it could be the fucking. Either way.
Oh.
Well, there's always some of that going on. This is a different tingly.
Yeah, like an ASMR tingle.
Yeah. Like a blood tingle. In the blood.
Right, so you come back down for some breakfast. Johnny, what's for breakfast in this elven household?
Ooh. I imagine there's peaches and berries and like fine like cream with like some saffron and cloves, some ground cloves on top.
Oh my.
Some clotted cream, if y'all know what that is. Very bad for you. But oh so tasty. Oh so decadent. Just like the most richest decadent sweets. Some fine like elven bread that's been toasted very, very slightly with some olive oil. And maybe the elves, they knew they had some guests over, so maybe they had some like hearty turkey bacon or something.
Wow. So hearty.
Yeah, it's so hard on elven stomachs, but
Cal looks very nonplussed at this meal, but it sounds good.
Yeah. Merlin comes down in Morn's bathrobes, his guest's robes.
God damn it. Fucking child.
And so what are you guys up to? what are you doing for today? As my plans are kind of not happening this session.
I mean, I'm waiting for Elian because that's all I've got going on without Luke here.
Say, Olia,
Yes.
you are a member of the elf race.
How astute of you to notice.
But would there happen to be any jewels you're looking to get rid of? Perhaps one at a value of 100 gold pieces or more?
Oh. Perhaps? Why? What sort of jewels are you looking to acquire?
Well, you see, I was thinking about something Maka said a long time ago. And I remember the soul gem she had, and believe it or not, inspiration came to me in the middle of my night during my 3-hour sleep.
Oh,
That guy's cool.
super cool.
And I think he's had a notebook scribbling down some things and I think I have the formula now, but I need a conduit, and it needs to be rather pure gem. If not, I got a guy. But me being here, I figure I'd ask.
I mean, I don't have anything that isn't earmarked for some spell or other already.
Understandable. You would have many uses for such a thing.
Actually, Aldia, didn't you grab some gems from the vampires?
I gave them to Cambries, and those have been added to the funds, so earmarked.
Well, I would certainly, exchange for equal funding, if that wouldn't be a problem.
Well, that would be convenient, and it would save him an errand, I suppose.
Yeah, I look around. Is Cambries near?
Sure, he's there.
Cambries, I need those jewelry bits back. We're gonna pilfer the gems from them.
Here you are.
Oh, you already have them on you. Wow, okay, sure.
Mm-mm.
There you go, Oswald.
I'm looking through. I'm like, I try to pick a big one that's worth like 100 GP or more, and I assume I'll find one, and I'll be like, hold it up to the light.
Yes, you find a particularly bright moonstone.
A what stone now?
Moonstone.
Moonstone, gotcha.
Yes,
I'm gonna write that down for
think
flavor.
will be just the tool for the job.
100 GP moonstone. This would be nicely. If you could just exchange it for this, and I'll give him. I think I have 10 platinum. I think I'll just do that.
Oh.
Cha-ching. Wonderful. Okay. I'm rather excited to try this one. But let me get a nom at those peaches of cream first.
Yeah, Cambries just sort of stares at the 10 platinum for a little while before he puts it into the same sack. And with your incredible perception, you hear him mutter under his breath, like, "This is more money than I've seen in my entire life put together."
He does my books now. He's about to see a lot more.
Like, who are these people?
Oh, I suggest you get used to it. There's money being thrown around at high levels like that. I mean, stick around, and I'm sure you can provide or whatever your motivations are. No meaning to pry. I don't mean to pry, that is.
Yes, I intend to be here for the long term.
Bonuses! Christmas is coming!
Yes, in 5 months.
Ah, yes, candle night, Christmas.
Yes, at the slaying of Saint Christopher.
Everybody knows the story.
Yes, when the great Klaus defeated the.
That's why we all sing the song Wunterklaus.
But I digress.
Creamy.
And at that point, the door swings open. It's your brother.
Oh boy.
Well, one
Here
of
he
your brothers.
is.
Which brother?
Which one?
Yeah, it's Morn.
Probably Morn.
Yeah.
Who else busts in the door
He
like that?
he swaggers in and takes a seat right next to you, Aldia.
Imagine Lauren man spreads like hardcore.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Just
Good morning, Aldia.
Good morning. What? Yeah. Oh God, it's loud. It's loud outside my window. Give me a sec.
It's a parade running through. So, Mon, do you go to church, or is you just
He
worship,
tends to bring church here to him.
worship? I see. You bring the worship. You bring the tenets of your God where you go.
Yeah, you see, I'm not just a Sunday Callistrian.
Of course not.
You see,
No one in this house is.
you see, worship of the goddess is to be practiced with your every breath.
At all hours.
Very, very
with
devout.
all your body, all your spirit, all your mind.
All your parts.
Oh yeah. Fluids, I'm sure too.
Oh yes. You're starting to get it.
You see, this devotion to the goddess has served the Strandrel family well over the centuries. Being in her favor has been an incalculable blessing. As he takes one of the cheesy things that you described.
I'm so happy.
I'm sure he's not wrong. I'm sure you're not wrong about that. Who am I to question?
Now, this may be ignorant of me, but are there baptisms under the name Callistria? I'm not sure if this is a human thing.
As many baptisms as there are virginities.
Oh, I remember I suppose you could call it a baptism. Back at the wee age of 70.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, I remember. It was an occasion. Not that I was there. But I remember it happening, is what I'm saying.
Yes. That was a day and night to remember. Well, for as much as I remember of it. It gets kind of hazy.
Well, it sounds like fun and devout.
Yes, but it's not just sex, but revenge. and a little bit of fury.
He stuck a scorpion in someone's pants, I believe.
I imagine revenge sex is pretty high on the list of holy things.
Oh yes, that's one of the rites you must perform in order to become one of the, say, clergy of Calistria.
Okay, and he's writing down must visit
As I am.
Church of Calistria to watch and check walls. Okay. Right.
Yes, so
You can just go in and observe, Oswald. You don't need to watch in the wall.
yes, in one of our tests, you must, with your guile, find out a piece of juicy blackmail about someone, and use that to your advantage over them. And there's a whole thing with masks and, well, you'll have to see for yourself. It does change from person to person, according to the whims of the Grand Rose.
Hot and heavy.
The whims of the Grand Rose. Mommy Grand Rose knows what's best for everyone, okay?
Yes, and what's worse for everyone. But I will warn you, Oswald, that nothing escalates quicker than an argument between two Calistrians. So just keep it easy.
I study many things. Religion, not so much. So I'm glad. I'm learning something.
Yes, this path can give you a lifetime of pleasure and pleasurable pain. Or you may end up not having much of that at all. Ever again.
Oof. I mean, with my kidney stones, I can tell you I felt painful pleasure. That's for sure. I'm not sure if that's in your book, but that's 1 point. 1 point for the Heims.
Oh yes, the Curse of Kidney Stones. I've done that one a few times.
I'm sure you don't need. Look, I mean, between one rich boy to one lesser rich man, I'm in the need of some funds every once in a while, and I'm sure you Calistrians don't have much of a problem getting in the mood, but I am, I'm in the supply of some love potion number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah.
That's almost as in need as Chantel number 5.
Albion nods sagely.
So, I mean, I'd be willing to offer samples of favor from, your sisters helped us out so much.
And what favor would you want in return?
How about some... Well, I could always use some constructive criticisms. Believe it or not, I can mess with the effects through certain alchemical means. I suppose, just put it in the pocket for now. I don't think I'll be calling any huge favors.
Oh, criticism of the potion. I thought you meant something else.
Oh, no. I can get your mind out of the gutter, you old dog. I suppose for you that would be heresy.
Holy shit. Ain't wrong.
So, Oda, you'll be awaiting on Elion?
I'm gonna check my notebook and confirm as you ask me that. Is there any update? Or are we still at that line of like, I get one more shot and we don't know when it is?
Alright, he says he will be back Uh, excuse me. Says he'll be back aiming for 2 days from now.
Okay, well, I guess I'm not busy today, other than, regular house things. But I could be called for an excursion.
Oh, speaking of house things, Merlin says, I got a new spell called Renovation, and I think we can repair and redo your house.
Oh yes,
Oh.
but I still have to get plans for the architect from the architect. I'm trying to add a new level to the sex dungeon. Might as well while we're doing some remodeling.
Yeah, and he explains to you how the spell works.
Awesome. Merlin, I really do have to look over your spell book. I might find some compatibilities, and I could toss some money your way. I know you need funds for your new town.
Always. Sure. Let me see. Do you think you could use? Oh, I got another new spell, Sending. So not just for her.
Huzzah!
Wow. No, I know for a fact that one is compatible.
All right. Well, hand over some money and you can copy it down.
Sending's a 5th level, 4th level.
5th level.
I think that's. I just had that chart open. 5th level, 250 gold. Well, this one might take me a little bit to copy. 5th level, or tier 4. I mean, tier 4. Tier 5.
Yes.
God, I need my coffee. That'll be 5 hours. So you know what, Merlin? I'll copy that later tonight. I think I'd have some errands to run this morning. But yeah, maybe if you don't mind, and if you have that spell prepared, I'd love to renovate my home.
Yeah, I can prepare it tomorrow.
Do you happen to know how we can get in touch with? Oswald knows it. Johnny's blanking on her name. What's your side character?
Sybil?
Sybil.
Yeah.
Merlin, do you know if I could get in contact with Sybil? I'd like somebody competent working on the plans of my house, floor plans, and.
Well, you've been to her office, so I would imagine she's probably there working on the community center for Toiva.
Wait, I've been to her office?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you met with Marlon and Wally. Did you?
Oh, chop that up to the old Oswald noggin not working all the time.
It's the drugs.
All right. I guess I'll add that to my list of to-dos. Renovation tomorrow. This today. I'm sure you're busy with house affairs, right, Aldia?
Yeah, I mean, probably if you're going to Sybil. Yes, there's so much to do. I am also working on Toiva plans, so don't mind me.
Speaking of, they will not be holding the slaves for much longer for us, so we should probably go and get them. Nazat has provided me this. He just takes out a ream of papers. Oh, and you see these are individual writs of emancipation. So,
You plan on handing those out, right? Well, that's a bureaucratic problem that I'm sure you have handled. Why am I asking? Good luck, little lord.
yes. Well, does Walton have a stomachache again?
Probably. Did he eat the peaches and cream? Because he knows he's lactose intolerant sometimes.
I bet he did. Actually, I'm gonna go up and check on him. And as Merlin exits the room, Morn, you hear the scrape of the chair just go 1 inch closer to you, and he just
Hey.
leans over just slightly.
Hey, big brother. Did you mess around with the little Lord Merlin last night?
So, it ends up when someone is semi-see-through, you can see yourself through them.
Oh. Uh-huh. Wow. It's like doing it with a mirror, but the person is a mirror. That's
No,
weird.
no, not a mirror. Actually, I suppose it's kind of like when your partner's invisible. Just semi-invisible.
God, Morn. You're such a narcissist sometimes.
Anyways, while that image is in your head, I want to let you know that it was super hot.
I want you to know that it's never in my head. It just immediately flees the moment you mention your fucking dong in my presence. I'm not a child anymore. Can't get me with that one.
Yeah, and he leans back in his chair. The chair is on its 2 hind legs now, and he's got his feet on the table, bulged prominent there. Well,
I'm gonna mage hand the table leg out from under him, or the chair leg out from under him. I'm gonna give it a sharp yank.
All right, give me an attack roll against the chair.
Ooh, sure.
This is
Like dexterity or
yeah, a touch attack.
a touchal attack. That's good. I can make touchal attacks.
A ranged touch attack.
Oh, a ranged touchal attack. That's even better. That's a +9. Here we go. There you go.
That's gotta be enough.
So what direction do you shove the chair?
Oh, I just like sweep it. I shove the leg further towards the table so it just comes right down underneath him.
Yeah, and he lands on his back.
The devout should not throw rocks in glass houses.
Oh, I threw my rocks in a glass something. A glass boy.
Oh, that was a good one. That was very clever.
I mean, forgive me for interrupting this sibling moment, but does it Morn, does it get foggy? Does it get foggy down there with the Merlin boy?
No.
Oh my god.
No, not at all. Actually, as he gets sweaty, it becomes more clear.
Oh wow. Okay. I pictured it differently, but I am picturing it more clearly.
Yeah, same if you rub him with oil.
Oh my god.
Wait, what? No. Actually, here. And Oswald pulls out a blue liquid with a spray on it. Working title, but I'm calling this Windox. Cleanest clearest shine on any glass material.
Oh my god.
I'm sure if you polish it enough, you will definitely see your own reflection on him.
Do not spray weird alchemical blue fluid on the Lord of Toiva, please.
It's just a little cling material.
And she know, if it's actually meant for glass, probably best not to.
Oh, I forgot.
Cleaning materials is
All right. Well, I'll be doing my windows with this.
Good luck at refurbishing your windows and your house. I'm leaving.
Yes, and it seems that Walton has been having projectile diarrhea. He did eat the cheese.
Walton, no! I've told you.
He'll be out for the day, apparently.
Elven cheese is too potent for the lad.
Jeez, Walton, I told you. I'm sorry, it just looks so good.
It just looks so good.
I can't help it.
Just, here, working title. Take this, Pepto... Just Pepto.
I got nothing.
It might be good in a few hours. And if your stool comes out dark, don't worry. That's perfectly normal. All right. Now that breakfast is wrapped up, I'll be taking my leave for the afternoon. And no more cheese. Get better.
Tell the kitchens to shut off the cheese supply to Walton. Look, he's a simple man. He can't control himself sometimes. Just hide the cheese.
I imagine you gotta have like a cheese cellar, right? Maybe like
we have a root cellar and a wine cellar, both of which could be used to store cheese or other things.
You're talking about like organic, like plant roots?
Yeah, like, in the olden times, you had to store your carrot. There's no fridges here. We store our roots in a cellar.
I see, just dry, cool places.
Yeah, like for potatoes and junk.
Mm.
I will take note of that, says Cambrise.
Cambrise, you take on too much. Come on, leave it to the kitchen staff. You're adorable, but I only have so much bonus to give every Christmas.
You see, like, a witty remark pass upon his lips, but without saying it. Like he thinks of something to tell you back, and then he's like, no.
I'm just gonna smile. He'll get to. I hope he gets to the point where he can joke with me. But I realize I'm his boss, so I don't push it.
Takes a little time.
Takes some time.
Yes. You are the great enchantress here of Codencal, and he is but a lowly drow.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, you guys have got a couple centuries to spare.
Yeah, basically. He's in it for the long haul.
Yes. Hopefully might loosen up within the next 200 years. So, Oswald, you stopped by the architect's office, which you clearly remember.
Yes. Once I hit this piece of code and Cal, it all floods back.
So, Katie, what does your office look like?
It's plain. I don't know. What do like Victorian offices look like? Like, imagine the place where Scrooge from A Christmas Carol would work, except like less gaudy, like tasteful in its wood carvings and panelings. There's a nice desk. There's not much of a like the lobby and the like office proper are like kind of open flow. Like there's just a little partition between them. So you go into the lobby and then there's pretty much just the front desk in the next room, and she just kind of like has you come inside and sit. It's warm, cozy. There's a little hearth, but it's not lit. It's a little too hot for that, probably.
Yeah, it is the summer.
Yeah. She's like, ah, Mr. Himes, what can I do for you today?
There's a hole in my house.
Ah, yes. I heard that. A little bird told me. There's a hole in your house, you say.
Oh, little bird.
You see, I have a almost sixth sense for crimes against architecture.
That being your house in general.
When you said that, Oswald almost took it literally. And he like under his breath, he's like, "God damn it, Far." Okay, well, then yes, what you've heard is true. And rather than just simply rebuild, there's a few additions I'd like to make, but obviously I need them done by someone competent at this, and you are, from my knowledge, much more than competent. Perhaps even overqualified, but yes, need some floor plans, an extra level to the basement.
Okay.
Maybe even an extra room where the hole is. Well, I could use some expansion to the library. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the original blueprints to the manor?
They're actually at my home right now. Apologies, I did come from a friend's estate right now.
Not at all. We can go there, survey the damage, and I can tell you what is to be done about a second basement level. That is difficult. I hope you have a spell for that.
Yes. Well, it can certainly be a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Well, shall we?
Let us go, and I will tell you of how this rhino came out of nowhere.
Oh my, a rhino out of nowhere.
Oh no, they're still here.
Let's see. You three go away. And you go away.
So that's the damage.
Mm-hmm. That is some damage. This whole room. Oh, this is a... You are right to not spend the night here. This is a problem.
Yes, this definitely takes priority. As much as I'd want a new level, I think me and Vulcan can wait. We'll plan it out. We can do the digging later, but if possible, I'd like you to write some plans. This library needs to be extended, maybe by a shelf or two more. That's pretty much it.
Well, we can push back this wall here, and I think looking at this upon first glance, but there are so many architectural flaws in your house. I could be completely wrong about the support structure here. But yes, I will make these plans.
Yes, my grandfather, who built this manor with his own 2 hands.
Yes,
and several halfling hands, but he's old-fashioned. He takes credit for it. He made very specific designs, and it might be a bit kooky and out of the place, but he goes to the vault and shakes a few dials, turns a few dials, and lays them out on the worksheet on the work desk. So these are the originals.
You said you have a spell to renovate?
Yeah, I did mention Merlin. Just it's a rather new acquirement. He hasn't tried it yet, but I believe he won't have that ready until tomorrow. So, considering that, I'll briefly explain to you how the spell works. And once I say that, yeah, considering that, um, just factor that into your equations or however you architects work. I'm honestly.
You people work extremely fast. Do you have an abacus? Because I will have to double check the numbers before tomorrow.
Oh no, just tell me them. I'll do them for you.
Sure. I will just write them down in the margins here. And I'm gonna make an engineering roll to clean up not only the 84 standards and codes violations that we have going on, but also to add more library space. And I will also math out a second level of basement with the caveat that you should really use a spell to dig this hole so you don't undermine the structure bad like. Oh no, that's a bad roll.
Well, since you're doing so many things, let's do one roll for each of these tasks.
Okay.
So this is the first roll, and the first thing you said was the violations.
Yes, the violations.
So first one is the violations. Second one is expanding the building.
Oh no. It's only average.
And the third one will be about the basement.
Okay. Well, at least your basement isn't going to collapse on you, probably.
So on that first roll, you think it is literally impossible to address all of the violations without demolishing the entirety of the structure. But you can make it at least appear to be structurally sound from the outside, so long as the inspector doesn't look too closely.
Okay. I am experienced in McMansion building.
And then you think with the renovation spell you can address the majority of it. However, the secret rooms and secret passages or rather the halfling passages that were built into the original structure, you think a lot of those will have to be reclaimed by actual wall space.
Yeah, those should not be here.
And you know how to do the other two tasks.
Great.
You got it.
Great.
Which quickly jot down. Actually, it takes a few hours to actually draw it out, but you have it in your head.
I have a human calculator next to me, so it helps.
So you guys discuss this for a few hours as you go to the dining table and take out the blueprint and trace over it with the new plans.
Sick. And I, of course, go over my rate beforehand, which I will hand wave for this campaign because I don't really care about the civil economy.
Yeah, sorry about all the. I mean, it's really great that you can cover up most of these pesky violations. Grandpappy Archibald, he was an eccentric man.
It was a different time 100 years ago.
Oh, it was. Now, All right, so I see we're wrapping this up. I do have one more request. It's a bit of a more personal one, more personal than the sex dungeon. Um, this is a bit of a passion project for me.
Didn't have to tell me what the basement was for, but go on. A passion project, you say?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you have any skill in the field of invention, but it's a rather crude device. But I've been working on it for a little bit. Here, I'm just gonna roll right now to like kind of determine like what it is, what the quality is as of now. This is my engineering roll. That's decent. I'm looking for improvements, maybe a well-trained eye to look it over, and I pull out a much smaller blueprint, like an inventor's blueprint, where it's just like different angles of and you look at it, and it's a sort of crude and gaudy like helmet, like a almost like a baseball cap style helmet. And on the two sides of it, you have like these little koozies
Yes.
where drinks go in,
Uh-huh.
and there is a plastic tube from these drink holders to the mouth.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I'm trusting you on this. This actually hasn't been patented yet. Um, I'm just looking over I'm worried about balance. Maybe material. This is a and Oswald like closely watches. I know. Katie's laughing right now, but he's also watching like Sybil like to make sure like if she lets out like any smirk or like. Very sensitive about this.
She's gonna put her professional face on, and I'm going to roll a bluff check. Oh God, why am I getting such low rolls?
Yeah,
Wow. So give me a sense motive then, Oswald.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might not be enough.
Tyler.
What?
Whoa!
Deuces.
At the con.
At the Costco. What? I'm
Oh.
not con yet. I'm going to the con tonight.
I didn't know.
I'm out here by the emergency exit. There's
Hey, you two. We're here at the emergency exit.
there's maintenance back there. What up, maintenance?
Oh wow!
Oh shit!
I rolled.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Well, okay. Sybil is mildly surprised and stupefied by his helmet.
Just to give Tyler quick context, I know you just muted yourself. Oswald just presented to Sybil his beer helmet idea, and he's scrutinizing her to make sure like she doesn't think it's a joke. But yeah, he looks at you and he's like, "Oh damn, I knew I should have maybe known her a little bit more before I brought this up."
She doesn't think it's a joke. She just isn't sure what to make of it. She's gonna say, well, I am sure there is a market for this, whatever this is.
I was intending, put some potion there. Maybe it could be modified for an extract. But also, for parties, for the kids.
Sure.
It could be
Kids.
It could be.
I can't imagine you are giving kids potions.
Oh, what's a little, my 0 level spell. Wait, my first level spells. What's a little long arm to a child,
Strangely good time, perhaps.
Maybe I'm from an older time or was raised in an older time, but my pappy was giving me that panacea, polypurpose, since the wee old age of 6 years old. But anyway, you don't want to hear about that. I'm looking for improvements on this, um, material or otherwise. Any ideas come to mind?
I will be honest with you, Mr. Himes. I come from a different culture than is Code and Cal. I do not. Oh, what the heck? Well, I do not quite understand the purpose, so it is difficult to give a suggestion for improvement.
Hmm. Yes.
I was a different child than the child who would use this.
Okay. So you're saying it's bad?
I do not know. I do not know.
Hmm.
I am saying if a child has the leisure time to use a helmet to drink potion out of, perhaps it is not so bad. Perhaps this is it is good in a way I cannot imagine.
Well,
And
all right. You go ahead.
you hear a small hacking sound, like, and just a tiny bit of throw up appears on your patent illustrations.
Oh, catch it!
I'm sorry. What the hell just threw up?
All right, you're not getting away. And I drink my extract of echolocation. I'll find you, Dad.
I'm the night. You can't find me. I'm not here.
Shoot! And I get this hairball vomit out of my. Just take my handkerchief. All right. Well, these might have to be redrawn, but luckily, these are on top of my house blueprints. Okay. I don't blame you. It's very new. Let's just worry about the house for now.
Okay.
He'll roll up his like slightly vomity hair helmet blueprints.
I think if you are using the plastic tubes as straws, there's very little that can go wrong. Unless you make these straws too long.
Right. Plastic, rubber, anything. Okay.
Also, what's plastic?
A magical alchemical substance.
I'll have to invent that.
I don't know.
So I guess we wrap that up, and I tell Sybil. So if I have will you like to be here for the reconstruction, or do you think with me and Merlin, or you probably want to oversee work? I wouldn't want to discredit you, make things go wrong, and
I only need to be here if you need me in building.
Okay.
Yeah?
I think I don't mean to brag here, but I got a pretty good understanding of these blueprints. I'll be helping Merlin, and if we do need you, then I know where to find you.
Of course. I can check the work when you are done, of course.
Yes, I think you should. I wouldn't want a bad job being done in your name.
Hey.
I could see you, Merlin.
Hey.
I know where you are. Forgive, we have an invisible cat problem.
Ha.
You can't see me. Hey.
Yes,
You're right, I can't see you.
we can.
But I have very nails for scritching. Just walk into the nails if you want scritches.
So you've got nice, elegant, long tiefling nails. It's like, oh. And you feel like fur. And then clothing. curiously.
Oh, it is a talking cat.
And a very a small knife handle.
You are armed. Well, I won't steal a cat's knife. I don't know how many knives you have on you.
Hey, she has horns. She can't wear the helmet.
You're right, but accommodations can be made for that.
Hey,
Oh,
you're an asshole.
you know what? Your rudeness somehow reminded me of the agreement I made with you. Oh, God. Sybil, you must forgive me. I have agreed to make this cat prosthetic thumbs. Or thumbs in some manner or otherwise. And
It is true. I did not think of it because I could not fathom the use that a child would have for the helmet, but horn accommodation is important for hats.
yes, perhaps if the hat's enchanted, it can take care of that itself, though that would add cost to production.
I'm not sure any child could afford an enchanted hat, nor most parents of these children.
I suppose
I certainly could not.
I will have to cheapen my design.
Perhaps a nice headband would do the trick.
Hey, don't skimp on the scritches.
I'm sorry. Scritch, scritch, scritch.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Enough!
Hold that scritching. As Oswald uses magic jar to switch into Cheshire's body. And he must make a will save of
Oh, shit.
1.
We're gonna take care of this Cheshire problem.
Okay, let me check on Magic Jar.
The TLDR, yeah, specifics are important, but the TLDR is 21 save or not. He gets put into the magic jar crystal. I do his body, and my body just goes numb, just falls on the floor.
Okay.
As he collapses, Sybil's just like, whoa, okay. I did not kill him.
Magic in the jar.
I need to check on what his will save is at this level.
He can't do it. I hope he can't do it.
There it is. Okay. Ooh, that is a 25.
All right. So for a brief second, my body does collapse, and my soul tries to enter Cheshire's, but that door ain't opening. So as quickly as I fell down, Cheshire.
Fuck was that?
You know, for a cat, you have rather impenetrable mind palace.
I'm not a cat. I'm the knight.
Well, that didn't work as well. All right. Cheshire, did you break anything while I was gone?
Yes.
All right. I'll have to contend to that later.
Oh, you're a good kitty, aren't you? What did you break? Did you break the old man's stuff? Then she talks in abyssal. Did you break the rich man's things?
Ooh. Let me let me see about that. Let me see. Now I have to actually open up his character sheet.
It's always a risk when you bring him into the RP.
Okay. So,
I'm trying to remember, didn't we send Cheshire on like a mission?
We did. He stole an artifact from heaven for us.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was like one of those like what do you call them? Like idol missions.
yeah.
Like, kind of like the side games on the games where you just like point at a map and have your followers go do a thing and then you wait to come back.
Exactly.
We did one of those.
Just a, what?
Did you bring back the artifact, or are you still dawdling?
No, we have it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It seems that no one tells me about these things. I have to
What
find
other languages do I speak? Give me a sec. No, okay. Never mind. Sybil is still scritching Cheshire.
Enough.
She's gonna dodge that swipe. She's gonna try to dodge that swipe.
Okay.
I grow tired of your scritching.
That's what my dodge AC.
Let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna do a D20 here. I don't think you dodged that one.
No. Well, she still pulls away.
Treasure!
He's just a cat. He didn't do anything wrong. Though, Cheshire, you could use your words. You don't have to scratch.
And you, with your echolocation, you track Cheshire jump to the top of the one of these bookcases and get behind a vase.
Cheshire. Those. That's my aunt's ashes right there. And you need to be.
and it is like 50-50 on the precipice.
I'm like waiting to catch it because I know this fuckos ain't gonna listen to me. If you knock these down, I'm gonna be very angry, and I might not make you thumbs. I'm gonna be very, very reluctant about it.
And it stays right at that tip. You think just the slightest breeze could probably tip it over.
Okay, stop there, come down, and you get your catnip. And it's not laced this time, I promise.
And you guys hear at the door.
I guess I will get it.
If you were paying attention to Sybil at that point, she jumps just a tiny bit.
I guess Horace is out or on vacay. Ever since I gave him PTO. I answer the door.
And it is Nizat.
Oh. Hey, Nizat. Come in. Or do you have urgency to your visit?
Yes. How is Merlin?
Merlin is feeling tranquil, satisfied, sexually. He is at he's with Aldia right now, Sarandaro residence.
Oh, I see. And in the other room, you hear.
So just like, I did not tell him to do that. He just did it.
I'll need to sweep those up for the third time.
The cat.
Use a little bit of her every time. So you're just looking for Merlin?
Yes. What happened here?
Well, first there was a rhino. Well,
Well, I was there for that, yes.
well, if I'm being honest, first there was the invisible cat that is plaguing my life.
An invisible
Then there
cat.
was the rhino. And currently, me and Sybil are just, we just finished the blueprints for the renovations, which will be taking place tomorrow.
That's
It was
fast.
better than the temple job. More satisfying as an artist.
Hmm. An invisible cat?
Oh yeah, he's always around, lurking. Usually, I don't even know how long he's been back. We had sent him, out, but I guess he accomplished his task, and now he's here to mingle in my house like a squatter or something.
Hmm.
Yeah. Watch. I'll show you him, and I'll click a few times, and I'll be. Where is he? Did he leave the top of the? Oh, he's over there now.
Hold on. And you see Nazat get down on his hands and start doing push-ups slowly. And you feel the cat sort of irresistibly drawn to then jump onto Nazat's back.
Well, somehow you've lured him. Is
Birds
this
of a feather.
I feel like cats just can't resist making push-ups more difficult.
I like this cat. I did not think I was a cat person.
I'm not a cat. I'm the knight.
Of course you are. Well, I already know I love the night.
And you see Cheshire clearly now, coming out of invisibility.
A dashing aspect.
feeling more comfortable now, Cheshire?
Nazat says, "Oh, hello." Where are you from, Cheshire? The darkness.
Did he take the catnip?
You cannot find the catnip.
Well, you should be calming down now. Maybe in 10 or so minutes, or whatever, how long it takes.
You know, I knew a cat too, much bigger than you. I think if you saw him, it would blow your mind. No, I'm the best cat.
Bigger is not always better.
Oh yeah, this other cat, it's taller than you are.
But it is not the night. Cheshire, I am curious why the night hides in the day in this manner repeatedly.
Because.
Because. Aha.
Say, Nazat, when you were coming from the inside, did you see Dunga?
No. I suppose, your regular residents have relocated due to
Well-
holes in the wall.
I don't blame them. It is a bit unsafe. Why do they have to take both time off at same time? Excuse me. I'm going to fetch a broom.
When Oswald's gone, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna motion for Cheshire to sit in my lap if he wants. Just if he
Cheshire
wants.
very cautiously. Actually, give me diplomacy.
Sure. Okay. 36.
All right, yeah, Cheshire.
Where's the cat?
Gotta pet that cat.
And it's pretty astounding. Cheshire on your lap feels like almost nothing. Like when he lands, you're expecting like a little poop, but it's just like. But
You're definitely right. You are not a cat. Not any cat I have ever seen before. I like you, Cheshire. If you ever want any catnip, I can provide.
thumbs. Do you have thumbs?
No. Well, I have thumbs. Perhaps if you need assistance, together, aspects of the night are stronger.
Do you kill people?
Sometimes.
And he looks at you just with wide cat eyes. Oh, I kill people.
I'm sure you do. What kind of people do you kill, Cheshire?
My enemies.
And who are your enemies?
Give me a sense motive.
That's not as good as my other things. Ugh. All right.
My enemies are my enemies. But in this, you sense a confusion. Something that he is certain about and yet very uncertain about.
People? Monsters?
People are the enemy.
People.
Yeah.
What kind of people?
People
People who
together.
are mean?
Hmm?
People who are mean?
Yeah. People together. No, people who are together. People who do things together.
Oh,
Decide things together.
you don't say. Huh. People who decide things together. Like the people in castles? Or the people in cellars?
People in cellars don't decide things.
You are right. I'm just making sure.
No. No, people who decide things are in much nicer rooms.
And you like to kill those people. Those are your enemies.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. I'm very good at getting into these rooms.
Hmm.
No one can stop me.
If you ever need help in the plum department, look for the office, and I'll give him sort of like cat-like directions to my base. I have a pair of thumbs to offer, though, you know, it would be on my person still. In case that was not clear.
Yes, those are the thumbs I need.
Mm.
On the wall, near the painting to the north side, you just hear.
Yes, we're going to get rid of those wall passages, aren't we?
Oh, right, just checking. Still works. Be back with the broom right now.
Yeah. He's strange. He doesn't use all the passages.
He might not know about all of them.
Broom, broom, broomy, broom. All right. So, I've seen Horace do this once.
Sibyl's just like, I would like to watch him clean. It would be funny.
I imagine for the next 15 minutes, Oswald's like, yes. So, definitely with the brushy end.
Sibyl's like, I can't become invisible, but Cheshire, maybe you can show me these passages, and I can look at Oswald trying to clean.
And
And I imagine that goes on.
so he shows you a set of actual halfling-sized passages throughout the house that Oswald was not aware of and could not fit through.
I got a scrunch. See, with your small size and my thumbs, we can do a lot of things. There are a lot of people who decide things and are our enemies. I can't believe Sybil is schmoozing with Cheshire right now. This is amazing.
Yes. The people who decide things in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone.
Bye, Trisha. Well, thank you for everything, Sybil.
Of course. If you need things murdered, because I'm sure you heard some of that, well, I know some people.
And
It's like, you are a tiefling after all.
I'll say in the the Sakagian slang, thieves' cant, if you would. I'll say essentially, and I do too. But thank you for acknowledging or offering.
She looks a little confused.
Yeah, he just said like gobbledygook to you.
Yeah. She doesn't really quite pick up what you're putting down. But she shrugs and nods.
It totally comes out like, and the pretzel flies over the moon.
She's just like, okay, that was clearly code for something. I don't get it.
And then I'll give it, a final nod. Okay.
Okay.
And Nazat's like, "You're not talking about me, are you?"
Oh no, Nazat. I'm sure you have many jobs to take care of already.
Oh, you know I have. Many people I know, Nazat.
He just arches an eyebrow at you.
Many more killers than you in the city.
I'm no killer.
Of course not. Neither am I.
Good. But neither of us are killers.
I'm glad we agree.
I'm a killer.
I'm a killer. Oh man.
Gobbledygook. I guess I'll probably head back to Aldia's.
Yeah, so everyone heads back to their business. Nazat gets on Swiftpaw and heads to Aldia's much faster than you do.
So he does.
I don't know. Well, I mean, guards see it. Nazat, they best learn that let this boy in.
And then, so shall we switch scenes now?
I'm ready to go.
Let us.
All right. Next scene. Where are we? So back at Aldia's place. Yeah. So so Aldia is made aware that there's a halfling riding a wolf.
Oh, he's fine. Go ahead and show it into the parlor.
And he goes to Merlin and they talk about their own business. And eventually
okay.
Oswald comes back.
I guess I don't need to entertain those two. I'm just going to hold session in my parlor. Anyway, how are you doing, Oswald?
Auntie's ashes were spread again, but
Cheshire?
I never liked her really. So I don't mind losing her 5% of the time every time. Other than that, we made some progress on the house. Sex dungeon will have to wait, but I'm all right with that. Priorities and all.
If those are your priorities, sure.
I tried to possess Cheshire, but that didn't work. Strong mind on that one, surprisingly.
Noted for later.
Anything happened while I was gone?
Not particularly. We sorted through the last 20 years of fudge numbers. I'm just kidding. Mother doesn't fudge numbers, but she does make mistakes. Only 2 centuries left to go.
Wow. Taxes must be a pain in the ass.
She skipped a few years. But, that was last dynasty. That was last king. Last king. Possibly last dynasty. Who the fuck knows?
Wow. Not to sound bad about this, but you honestly turned me on to so many problems the elves have. And And with every king, there's a new tax code, and you have to rearrange your workbook, your ledger.
Sometimes multiple tax codes per king, and yes, there are rules to backfilling past years up to the next code, which sometimes you get refunds and sometimes you owe, and sometimes your brother has to go spend 3 years in the army to make up for it.
Yes, Lawchuck was not pleased about that one.
So that's what happens. Okay. I am forever a scholar, always learning.
Hmm. Yeah,
As
such is life.
as Walton's diarrhea gotten better.
He's passed out upstairs on the couch.
Oh boy.
He'll be fine. You know how the boy likes to sleep.
Has he been drinking fluids?
Yes, plenty. He wanted to drink milk, but I told him that's how he got into this ridiculous mess in the first
What?
place.
No. Oh.
I know. He has his simple pleasures. But no, water. Water only.
It's a bit more of a country elf thing, but perhaps he should look into almond milk. Or any milk of any nut, really.
No, yeah, that would be my preferred ingredient in things. Only, in Code and Cow, cows are the thing, I suppose.
Yeah, human-dominated culture. I get you.
It is what it is. I enjoy fusion food.
We really should try more of it. Honestly, I don't think all this macrodonado is good for our colons. My gut bacteria is screaming.
Oh, now I'm thinking about fusion D&D cuisine. Goodness.
That's a cool concept.
Elf-human fusion food.
Fucking dragonborn dwarven fusion cuisine.
Yeah. Delicious.
Spiciest mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of kimchi that goes on.
Ooh.
So let us skip forward in time a little bit to when Elion arrives.
2 days later.
Yes, several days later, you're going through your the next century of tax returns and ledgers, and noticing the price variations, and you're thinking about, like, interesting. So when the price of milk reaches this point, it relates to the price of almonds there.
So, this could just be correlation. But there could be a deeper relationship.
Yes, and then, interesting, so when this plague hit, the price of halflings went here. And
It's just like, slaves really aren't all that profitable.
it's like, except for these crops. There must be something other than profit keeping here. And then back in the when that whole sacrifice craze was going on, that's where it hit the peak.
And she's like, oh my god, Cambries. These were subsidized. People were subsidized. Well, if that's not proof the system is corrupt, I don't know what is. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk like that. Wow. Okay, I'm going to drop it now. Jesus.
That was all over laughing. He's
Yeah.
um, Cambries says carefully, yes, perhaps that is something to consider.
Consider. I mean, what? That's proof. They're not profitable at all. The government has some vested interest in keeping the trade alive. Ugh. This is just terrible for our numbers. Is this a targeted attack? Is this a targeted economic attack on me personally?
Before I was born.
Before I was born, they were setting this up.
Hmm. You know what? Just give me what kind of check would you have to do for economic malfeasance?
I have profession merchant.
That'll do. Yeah.
Let me look at what that is. Profession merchant. Ah, a gentleman's 5. A gentleman's, I put a token single rank into this. Ooh, and I rolled a 1. Oh, wow.
Okay, on that one, you're like, yes, it's clear, obviously. There are external factors here. This, it's a conspiracy.
It has to be that just everyone knows that correlation implies causation.
Yeah, so you believe you have a lead upon perhaps even the Sylvan High Council's influence upon the socio-economic picture of Code and Cal through tax policy on slavery.
They have their fingers in every pie. It just makes sense.
All right. Where even was I? Oh yeah, Elion.
Oh yeah, right. The boy is back in town.
So he says, "I shall be back in the evening." In your notebook.
Oh, huzzah!
So he has you. He comes through the front door this time. No going through your trees.
Oh, that's a surprise. I didn't hear the tree go off.
Well, yes, you are running out of them.
You can't reuse them at all, can you?
That is a weakness, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's great. Okay, well, I just let go my landscaper, so.
Oh, why
Well,
so?
never mind.
Did they become ill?
Huh? No. They were part of Yorshka's batch. They're gone. They're free.
They're free.
They're free. I glossed over that before. And she she carefully stacks the papers that she was just conspiring over and puts it aside like, I'm living a slave-free lifestyle now.
Oh, is that the newest craze?
One that I'm trying to craze up, perhaps.
Well, if there's anyone who can make anything go in vogue, it is you, albeit.
I do hope so with this one. But enough about me. I have missed you. Just gonna give him a smooch.
And he takes that. And I have a gift for you.
Oh?
And he opens its bag beyond its physical limits and Um, actually, no. It weighs way too much. He like pours out a construct body.
It just slides out on the.
Yeah. Sorry, the presentation needs work, but
And I have the diamond. So there you go. Wow, that is everything, isn't it?
yes, and it is a magnificent body, clearly the work of a master artificer, his aunt Amathea.
Excellent. Good. Good. This will last thousands of years. As intended.
Yes, they do need tune-ups every decade or so.
We'll let her know.
Yes, and this is this is one of the higher end models, so you'll need someone who really understands it, lest they blow it up.
Well, we'll have to train replacements, I guess. That's not my problem. I'm going to be dead in 600 years.
Oh, let's not assume.
Oh, are you holding something back from me?
Yes.
Who wants to live forever? I've told you that before.
Many people want to live forever.
Oh, here we go again. Deja vu.
But for most, simply living a very, very long time suffices.
Well, whether we reach that point or not, this should do fine for our bargaining with the Dreamweaver. And that means, that means, I suppose, we are about ready for your sister to come back to us as well.
Yes. That would be a dream.
I get it. Well, Walton's scurried off to church, and no one else is here, but I guess we can let them know soon.
Yes. Shall we take this with us, or do you want to just keep it here?
I mean, there's no need to pick it up and move it. It's fine.
Yes. It's also incredibly heavy.
Yeah. I'm going to leave a note on it. Says, don't touch this. It's fine here. Smiley face.
It's very resistant to damage, made entirely of rare metals and exotic alloys.
Yeah, but someone's going to try to move it unless I tell them not to. That's the thing about paid workers.
That they do things and take initiative.
Yes, it's quite refreshing. Cheaper, too, over the long term.
Really, show me.
Well, I have the numbers right here. Show up. Decades and decades of it.
Yeah,
And I can't imagine Mother had made such a short-sighted... I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't want to ask her about it.
He reads it. Interesting. They were subsidized.
I know, that's what I said.
No. Oh, I see, yes, of course. It's old Chalaxian law. From before Codencal was renamed and re-established.
See, I thought you might know the legalese behind it. And the, well, I didn't actually realize you were a tax lawyer. I always thought you were more carnal punishment.
Taxes are one of many venues of infernal control. You must understand them.
Oh, gross. Well, I guess it's been good we've been dodging some.
The devil is in the details.
Hmm.
See here, looks like your mother took a 5-finger discount on this batch. If you cross-reference there... Oh, that's clever. You see, by reducing her prices on this stock, over the 10 years of doing that, she caused this other business to go out of business.
Yeah, I did notice that. I did notice some conniving in here. There's some Callistrian politics happening. Certainly, reflected in the numbers.
Actually, that's a lie. I didn't just read that. I already knew that from Mother.
I mean, it was a little before my time, this particular case, but she's not. This is not the first nor last time.
Yes, where is she now?
Oh,
Your house is much quieter than I recall.
she's. I think she's off to Erelastial real estate hunting.
Well, good luck on that. Real estate in our last deal is... well, you know as well as I, elves don't like to give up their land.
Of course not. But she's unwilling to go to Forshire Harbor about it.
That would be the much easier.
I imagine she's looking for marriage. I imagine that's her best option.
Yes, that would be... She has had one marriage so far, yes?
Yes, just the one.
And quite an incredible set of children from that. I'm sure she would be courted daily.
Well, hopefully, anyway.
For children with such sorcerous powers, now that is a bloodline worth getting into, he says, nuzzling you.
Aw, you're cute, and you know it's from my father. But, you know.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. It's not from her at all.
Oh, they don't need to know about that.
No, they don't need to know that at all.
Apologies, I forgot about the contract with, was it Vilka?
Right.
Well, that is null and void now.
Yeah. Well, it's an understandable mistake. I mean, my father ended up inheriting after a snafu, really. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
What are you up to besides getting this body here?
Mainly keeping a horde of ever more raging orcs by the day in line. I feel myself becoming more cruel the more time I spend there.
Well, it's a good thing you're taking breaks. Speaking of the orcs, we should probably talk. Johnny, this is going to be a long-ass conversation.
Yeah, I need plenty of time to catch up on the TLDR because I've just been talking. So go
Okay.
for it.
Okay, so yeah, Elian, how are you? Do you remember kind of what we talked about last time you were here, and I was trying to convince you of some things, and how
Do remind me the potion makes some things fuzzy.
we talked about your mother a lot.
Yes.
Well, look, I don't know what she told you about her plans, but bit of information she might be using to justify this whole ascension. We found out about a thing, a very scary thing. We found out Tiamat's coming back soonish.
Tiamat.
Yeah. Dragon goddess, 5 heads, lots of death.
Oh, she's been dead for quite a while.
Yeah, the thing about that is she's coming back. That egg, that's her egg. She's gonna hatch. The big egg across the sea. And it came down and killed a lot of people, and that's hers. She's already starting.
The Grand Egg is Tiamat.
Huh? Yeah, apparently dragon priests already know this.
Well, what have they been doing the past 100 years?
Well, I couldn't ask because I'm hearing this now secondhand. So I don't know. But apparently trying to bring back Bahamut.
Tiamat's brother?
Yeah, the one that killed her and then died also.
By any chance are you hearing this from Galahad?
No. Walton.
Ah. Sorry, I don't mean to bring up exes.
It's fine. I mean, Galahad has a vested interest in this, and he's not involved.
So he is involved.
Yeah,
Tiamat
for whatever
is
that's worth.
And tell me more about the Bahamut situation.
Let's see. What is there to tell? He's buried under some mountains, and there's a temple, And there's going to be a revival ritual of some kind. And we're gathering materials for it.
Revival ritual for Bahamut.
Yeah,
By whom?
I don't know. I'd assume the priests or Fahar. I don't imagine it's Fahar. I think we're getting the platinum scales involved. Look, this information I know you're going to carry to your mother and the Sylvan High Council, but I suspect, based on what you've said in the past, they already know, at least about Tiamat. Or they're at least aware of a prophecy.
Prophecies.
Yeah, too many prophecies is right. Look, I don't think you should be helping your mother with her thing. I've already told you this. I know I'm going to sound like a nagging wife. I don't know. What do you think of all this?
Well, that does coincide with why they would want to do it now, instead of when all the planets are aligned and every last drop of moonbeam is in place. No, they have been rushing.
They're also hiding this from you. It doesn't seem right. Forcing you to take a drug that's making you more cruel. Forcing you to spend weeks away, almost by yourself. Rushing, as you say. I don't like it.
We face incalculable dangers from every side now. Tiamat. You know, in comparison, an army of orcs big enough to destroy our last deal, it does seem rather quaint to the dragon goddess of destruction.
Just paltry. Paltry to us, even.
I feel like a child riding upon a water buffalo. You can guide it with the string so long as it has a ring in its nose. But if you let go of that string, you'll be thrown off and trampled.
I don't want to tell you what to do, but I will say that I see the effect that it has on you. And I don't like to see you troubled like this.
What do you think is paradise, Aldia? What is your vision of the ideal material plane?
I suppose. I feel like you've asked me this before, and I had an answer. And I don't know. I don't know what the ideal material plane looks like because I can't make that call, right?
Or just the ideal Ragnath?
I'm sure it's something multicultural and well thought out and post scarcity that I can't even picture or fathom because all I know is what I want in life. And all I know is that if we, the party of us, are ill equipped to make a judgment call about what paradise is, then no singular person or group of commonly minded individuals can make that decision either. It is different to different people. Everyone will have their own answer. And surely the true answer is something that incorporates elements of all of these visions. What did you say? It's a little liberal, but I did read a lot of philosophy in college.
Until very recently, I'd say that's all hogwash. But I'm not so sure now.
There's a lot of minds behind it,
We live
not just elven minds.
in a society where there is a king, and by his decisions about what is good and what is bad, so decrees, and so do people, and so they must obey.
That's never sat right with me. And plus, I mean, we know the king doesn't really, stand for what's good and bad. He stands for the interests of his city.
Well, if he is a wise and kind king, then yes, he will put his city above the others. He will put his people above others to protect them from the outside world, to keep the peace, and to keep the prosperity of his people. It is not in the cares of a king to be benevolent beyond his own people, beyond his borders.
Do you agree with that? Or are you just stating facts as they are?
That is how things are.
Mm-hmm. Then let me turn this back around on you. What do you think paradise is? What is your ideal system?
In the lives I've lived, the one that stands out is the one dominated by fear. The anguish, I remember. The hate that drove him. But it wasn't from a vacuum. When you love so deeply, and then it is taken away, that is what fuels the deepest hate.
That doesn't sound like paradise to me.
Indeed, I might say a place where there can be no hate, no suffering, but that is a wicked wish, if it means no more love either. I do not know what kind of paradise that might be, for in heaven, we've been there, that's a paradise, but it's also a place of the tightest of law.
Yeah,
And
see,
it can
law
be
doesn't do it for everybody.
hell for anyone else
Yeah.
that cannot comply.
Yeah.
And for
I mean, that
some,
Work
hell.
for elves, generally. What, sorry?
And for some, hell is where they want to be, where
Yeah,
they thrive.
see? That's my point.
But my question, what I was leading to, is if the ends can justify the means, if you can achieve a paradise here, or perhaps not paradise, but something closer to it.
You asked me this before, too. My answer is the same. No. Ends do not justify the means. Because who's to say what ends are correct? There's no correct end. Look, I have books. I can show you. They make very clear-cut arguments.
I'm familiar with the philosophers. He glances back at your bookshelf of your Descartes and Canto.
Can you objectively state what is good or bad? No, you can't.
I can't I?
All right, so why are you arguing philosophy with me? Are you trying to convince me of something the same as I am convincing you of something? Because if there's a values mismatch here, I guess we should have figured that out before we got engaged.
Well, this is a discussion that I suppose very rarely do philosophers and their musings have world-shattering potential of changing it.
So,
And this
hang
is a
on,
question of philosophy.
in the interest of not rambling too much, because this conversation I think we've had before. I think you've asked me these questions before, Oliver. I
Have I?
want to say I'm going crazy, and I think this was our other hour-long conversation. And
You know, I don't. Am I
because the
going crazy?
audio didn't pick up on your end, and it was just my responses.
Oh.
That conversation.
Oh. Yeah, I never reviewed that one.
Yeah, because the audio cut out.
Yeah,
No, we
okay.
totally talked about this. Is in my notes, but it was so long I didn't have like an accurate like notage of it. But you've asked me these questions before, like for sure. And we got to a point where Elian like seemed like he was convinced like of something. He started crying on my shoulder over like, yeah, you're wrong, you're right, my mom sucks. But what do I like, who am I if not Elian doing this to help her? And I was like, you gotta figure that stuff out on your own. You gotta find your identity because you're not her little puppet. Yeah, I know we went over some of this before.
I can't
And
tell
that
you.
was,
I need to remember my hour-long conversations about philosophy with Valdia.
yeah, it was really good. Like, we did essentially this, but I felt like I was more eloquent back then. And now I'm trying to repeat it, and it's
Well-
not as good.
Well, I feel that the question, the core of what we're talking about now is a little bit different. He's asking, what he's getting at is whether, if the ends justify the means and you do accomplish a great destiny, a great thing, is it okay if the little people got squished along the way? Which
we did.
Okay.
We did go over that. I don't remember what I said because something else different led into it.
Yeah, because I think you were trying to convince him about, like, your mom is terrible and getting into, or like making him face his own cognitive dissonance about it.
Right. There was a lot of that going on. But yeah, I don't know. In a general sense, I guess my answer is the same. I don't know. I don't know how to elaborate on this in a way that's more interesting than what we did before. I'd have to check the tapes because, yeah, it was only half the conversation recorded. And that's why I was trying to remember what Elian said. Fucking audio equipment.
No, just OBS and me not seeing the settings.
Fucking OBS. Resetting the settings. For no dang reason.
Yeah, no, that's entirely my fault.
No, it's alright. It's OBS's fault, actually. But, you know.
Alright, but so, alright, I suppose we'll cut to the chase. What do you want him to see or conclude?
Well, I need to figure out what he's not convinced on yet. Like, I have no idea where he stands right now. That's kind of what I've been trying to get at in this conversation. Like, has he had time to digest identity crisis things yet?
Alright, so it seems to you that the crux of what he is struggling with is that okay, so one, he still super hates orcs, and he does believe that if he doesn't get rid of them this way, it's going to be a huge fucking problem for Erlastiel.
I think that's where we landed last time as well.
So on a physical level, that is a big concern. On a moral level, that is where he's more open to. That's where he's not sure about anymore.
Okay.
On the
And that was where I think I brought up like his redemption, like the spell redemption that like Fahar told me was like, hey, that's not like fucking permanent. And I think I brought that up, but I don't remember where that went. But hey, guess what? It's not fucking permanent, buddy.
Yes, to be redeemed, you must still live as one redeemed.
Yep. I'm not sure killing orcs is redeemer quality actions, but I really have bigger hills to die on right now.
Yes, we ended the last conversation in a tender manner.
Uh-huh. I hope we end this one in a tender manner.
And but I feel that you have already come up with the solution here.
Have I? A solution to Tiamat? Yes. We're the heroes of Ragnoth, so it's in the bag.
In the bag.
Uh-huh. Metaphorically speaking. Also, there are some components in my bag that will lead into yes, the resurrection of Bahamut, but it's gonna I mean it's fine. It's all gonna work out. And we even get your sister back out of the deal.
And what of the other two? We did not find the bodies.
Well, Walton's working on that
Walton killed them. Why would he be working on it?
because I asked.
Yes, and do you think that Walton would be able to reproduce the bodies, recreate them?
Well, no, but we have the means.
Well, so would I. But that is
I mean,
one
I
of many things.
you just give you the ashes. I'm sure you do have the means. Look, I don't want to fight about Walton.
I come from a family that is not so good at times. But even so, it is your family, my family,
I know.
and I cannot cast them aside and be so disloyal.
I know that. I know we're sitting exactly where we left off last time, aren't we? So what do we do? I told you this before and I'll stand by it. I can't, in all good consciousness, let your mother go through with this ritual if it means killing my loved ones. And it does. And you know, I'll protect my family if it comes down to it. And I count you, just you, Elian, The only Varia in that number. So I'll protect you. But I have others to worry about too.
And if Bahamut is revived... this is...
They
Where to even
probably
be-
kill each other again.
Where to even begin with that variable?
Well, it was the best option we had available. In the old classic way of evaluating options, the capitalist way, it's mitigated risk and, well, mitigated harm, really, while still accomplishing the goal.
If we're thinking classically, then the way the calculations go, I suppose we should try and accomplish both. It is not Mother's intention to wholesale kill off every non-elf on the continent.
I don't trust your mother at all with whatever her intentions are. I still don't. Nothing's changed about that.
But also,
You know, she tried to rip me off in this marriage. You know what she asked me? Several times? No children but yours. You know, she's already confined me to the city. She was willing to do that much constricted control on an elf. What does she do to Deimos, Elian? Think. It's
not
just,
so good.
it's not a good idea. I'm sorry. I know she's your mother. I'm not advocating killing her.
But that is what it will come down to.
You really can't convince her to just not go through with this. You really can't stop her from behind the scenes to save her life.
She would rather die, I think. This has been the point of her life.
That's sad.
That's the point of mine.
That is sadder.
It is sad. For me, at least.
How do you envision our future together? Is your goal really just to serve your mother in this selfish dream? And it is selfish. I won't debate that.
I hope that we can live centuries in happiness.
What does happiness look like? What kind of life are you imagining for our children?
I see. I see. All I can see is fire.
What do you mean?
I cannot see past the prophecies that we have been so foretold that our last steel will burn. That. Let me bring up my prophecy page.
You can stop it from burning. You really can.
We can.
Holy shit, boy.
Or
You
else
really?
the Golden Age.
What is the golden age? What does that mean? I want you to think realistically in terms of actual tangible goals. What are you asking for? Because I think when you start to picture concretely, you'll start to realize we can just attain those things. We can just do them. Both of us. We can do literally anything. We have money, we have power, we have each other.
You're right.
We can stop the forest from burning. Whatever a golden age looks like, we can take steps to bring it about ourselves. We don't need gods. Though we do need to stop Tiamat. That's a little important, but I mean, we have a plan for that.
Clearly, I have been thinking too small.
I think you've been thinking really big already, but do you want to know what I picture for you and I?
What do you see?
House in the woods. It's quiet. And I have you, grown children, small children, grandchildren. And not a care in the world.
That is a good image.
Not a care in the world means my children don't have much care either. Which means I have to make sure certain things come to pass. My niece and nephew are half-elves. My children may be too. At least a few of them. Our children could be a tiefling. We don't know. And what about our children's lovers? Who knows what they would be? So that's the point I'm trying to make. Sorry if it sounds a bit sappy.
Those are the best dreams.
It's simple, attainable, right? Mother always told me I need to be more attainable with my goals.
Mother always told me. Actually, she didn't really remark upon my own goals.
I'm sorry.
But for us, that goal, that is simple enough. We can do it today.
Sure, we could. Though I suppose it wouldn't be the ethical decision to leave the world hanging, or the forest hanging in your case.
I do owe some obligation to Air Lastiel as the Lord of Leaves,
Uh-huh.
and I must make sure that it does not burn to the Orcish Legion.
And as a Sarandaril, I have some obligation to the city? I don't know. I was trying to sound grandiose, but I don't really have. Ah,
Grandiose
well,
is good for people such as us.
I have such a small part in this Tiamat thing. It's fine. It'll work out. I don't need to worry about it, really, realistically.
Well,
If it'll make your mother happy, I won't even go to the ritual site because I'll be here in the city, obeying her one commandment.
I think it is more for your safety than for your restriction to stay here.
Do you think that?
Well, the ritual site is beyond dangerous.
She knows I, killed the God King, right? I actually did. I shot fire at a lich, and it burned up. And then you put a sword and a hammer through it. She knows that happened on some level.
Yes. But we are still mortal.
So are you.
So I am at the moment.
It's just weird to me how she treats you. And I'm probably projecting. It's probably, I see a lot of the same thing in my mother. But anyway.
Well, in that case, perhaps there's another way.
What are you thinking?
If we are to have such power. Need it be her?
We've gone over this.
Yes.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to. I'm still not convinced. Still haven't moved on that.
Is there someone of such outstanding moral compass that you think they would be
No,
trustable?
there actually isn't. I would rather no one get this power. Because, honestly, it's a threat to all mortal power everywhere. It's a threat to our power. And if we just became gods, what the hell would be the fun?
I don't know. I would imagine they have lots of fun.
But if you became a god, or I became a god, then the other would still be mortal, and that would be tragic.
You know that's not true. A god can just simply raise the other into immortality. We could be immortal. We could see our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren
You know, it's tempting. But you know I'm in love with more than just you.
As well, you could... What limits are there?
Just raise
Yes.
everyone to immortality. Is that what you're suggesting? Fuck it. Everybody, you're a god. You're a god. You're all gods now.
Yes, you... Sure, why don't you just have another 1,000 years of life? Till you get bored. You and you and you and you.
I don't know. When it's also possible, it's, I suppose, up for consideration. Serious consideration. But I don't know, maybe because it's just never occurred to me, it doesn't seem appealing.
The fear of death drives most everyone.
A lot of people don't fear death in the end. Or, well, humans don't.
Don't
Not
they?
the old ones.
Well,
Well, anyway.
they've resigned. But need we?
Fear death. Die. I don't know. If everyone lived forever, would that be a paradise? Or would it just be boring? Cyclical.
Well, we should try it out then.
You're serious. You're serious.
Or at least, I think, from what I know of the ritual, it need not end in a single divinity if we can divide up the power.
You and I, then. Is that what you're suggesting?
Just a touch of demigodhood.
It's so tempting. What is that story about the devil in temptation?
Oh, I know all of them. Which one?
Doesn't it make you nervous, though?
Nervous. We gamble with the high stakes here.
I mean, what's the risk, then? Death?
Death of us, death of us, death of the people of Erelastiel, death of... There's a lot of death on the line.
That's so huge. Wait, if we become gods, people die.
No, if... I mean, if we... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. If we don't...
Look, that's already taken care of. I told you. It's fine. I'm talking about just the ritual. We can make the orcs go away. They're not a factor. The orcs are not a factor.
The orcs are the factor, I'm afraid.
We can make them go away, Elian. You could turn them right around.
I could, but they're not away.
Bahamut could murder them.
He could. Then what's the difference?
Well, the point is trying to evaluate if the ritual is right. See, we have stopgaps against needing the ritual. We don't need it, is my point. Everything's covered in one way or another. There are contingencies, just the way you like it.
You understand me.
See, it's bigger than just us. So, the question is, do we hijack this ritual? What is at risk?
Well, I think that would be a splendid idea if we want to keep the Sylvan High Council, nor Mother, from expanding their influence into divinity.
And all we need to fuel it are the orcs, just as planned.
Yes.
Then how do we stop your mother?
She will be there. She'll be there at the site on that day. And then so must we.
All right. All right.
So long as she's not standing at the dais.
The one thing she has to do, that she will do even at the cost of her own life. How do we prevent her from doing that?
I think you are very good at telling people to just hold still.
Can I land that spell? Oh, that's a gamble, Elian. There are specific odds for that.
And well, when such awesome power is on the line, then death is not so permanent, is it? It's not such a big deal.
But if your mother snatches it, then it's really over. For both of us. If we go out on a limb against her, that's it. It's do or die. Or worse than die.
Yes, these are grand odds.
And you're willing to do that.
I think that that would be best for everyone on Ragnath.
I have another hypothetical contingency for you. If we're thrown for a loop, and the cost is something greater than the orc army, what happens then? How much are we willing to pay?
Cost is greater. What do you mean?
More souls.
More than even the Orcish Ford.
Possibly. Or, put another way, what if an outside source deprives us of the orcish horde? What then?
That is a much more dire hypothetical. Then they would need to relocate.
I would assume you have, being of area, a plan B in place.
There are locations on the world that have a certain amount of souls gathered.
Cities.
Yes, the great cities.
Would you pay a city of people?
No. No, that is not. No.
Okay. I wouldn't either. I'm just.
No,
It's good to have our ducks in a row here.
Yes, if I lost control of the Orcish Horde and they scattered before the ritual, and then they were unable to herd them back in, well, then we would be forcing the council to relocate. Could be Akla, could be Draconia. Difficult that would be. Perhaps not even on this continent. Rocksharad. Foreshore
Okay.
Harbor.
So then it just becomes unpredictable, and then we're in a bad situation.
Yes, I would fear then.
All right. All right.
Each member of the council likes to claim parts of the continent for their own, shall we say, influence. Their own part, like each great city
That
that they
scans.
watch over.
Okay. What do we need?
We need to challenge her. You would need wards against witchcraft. You would need to be able to resist the highest of magics.
Highest of magics. All these taking notes.
Beyond that, to challenge my sisters, to challenge Amathea.
Is there any way we could cut them out of the picture if we could distract them somehow? Get them away? We have to consider, Elian, that doing this puts us pretty alone in the grand scheme of things. We're betraying both of our parties in this situation.
Would they forgive us for an extra 1,000 years of life?
Well, that's not the point. The point is actually getting there. Getting us to the point where we can hijack this ritual. We have to be able to fight your family. And unless the two of us alone are extremely sneaky and can get around that somehow, we probably need to trick my friends into helping. You see where I'm going with this? Do you see how
Yes.
this gets difficult?
Well, the most important thing would be getting your friends to fight to the top of the Tower of Eternity.
Is that where we need to be?
The city
Tower.
which the orcs will be attacking by that point is where that tower is.
Okay. Okay, planning time. Okay, Tower of Eternity. Orcs are gonna attack. We gotta fight up it. Okay. Taking notes on my note taking quill.
Yes.
It's very clackety.
Yes. The entirety of the city surrounding the tower is a death trap of orcish horde scale.
There's a city?
Yes.
What city?
All of us forgotten the name, but there's a city.
Okay, there's a city.
I'll get back to you on the name. But yes, our best bet of attack would be to teleport. No, fly in.
Okay.
Yes, there
This can be arranged.
are wards against teleportation.
Yeah, there would be.
And then
So we just roll up. We just roll on up.
yes,
Really? That's the plan? There's nothing more we can do?
well, within the chaos of the city, once it's under attack, that would be a good time to strike. Otherwise, their forces will. Otherwise, we may be attacking an entire city, death trap. So, that is the prime time to attack, I'd say. And I know a way into the tower that bypasses the major death traps at the base.
Okay.
Going up, there will be a lot of magic, so be prepared for wild magic surges, especially as we get closer to the apex.
Good lord. How do they expect... And you're going to cast a ritual and wild magic?
The ritual makes the wild magic. It's not
Oh,
affected by
God.
it.
Okay.
You should expect Amathea's forces there.
That makes it really hard to lock down your mom. Elian, this is insane. How are we going to do this?
He looks at you, and his expression has changed now. It's like he has the biggest grin. You see that flame of ambition now glowing in his eyes. We'll do it because I'm the Orcish war chief, and I will tell them how to survive as we attack.
Oh my god. It's full. We're going to go full-scale assault. Then they'd have to come down and fight.
Yes. There's a lot of assumptions in the death traps around this city. But if the orcs know about them, then they will be ever spread thin.
hold on. This ritual, we can pull it off just the two of us, right? We don't need anyone else's input. Once we're up there and in the circle, I just want to make sure because we're going to be entirely alone after a certain point.
Yes.
And I would assume that your sisters have to do something, but no?
To get it started, there's a certain amount of momentum with this, but near the end, no, they don't need to be there. I suppose it could be just us. We are casters of supreme skill.
I think that would be safest. We're betraying both parties, remember? We're essentially foregoing everything else. Are you okay with that? All of a sudden?
It is for the good. I know that my family is not to be trusted with such power, but also
Also,
but I do trust you.
do you? Absolutely.
I suppose you could just stab me in the back when we get there and take it all for yourself. But
Do you think I would do that? Please answer, honestly.
I bet my life that you wouldn't.
I'm not going to stab you in the back, Elian. But I want to hear you say it, that you trust me. I need that.
I trust you, Aldia. And do you trust me?
I trust you with my life. I trust you, Elian. I do trust you. I trust you're a good person.
And he kisses you passionately. And fade to black.
I think she had more to go there. I think I'm going to ruin the moment.
Oh, okay, continue, please. Continue, by all means.
I'm thinking about it. I'm really torn. No, I might just let him sit on that. He's not going anywhere, right?
No.
Okay, we might have to pick this up next session. I want him to sit on that for the night.
Sit on those last words that you trust him with your life? Or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I think she doesn't say anything from there. I think they just bone.
Yeah.
There's more conniving to do, though.
This has taken a direction that I did not anticipate.
Yeah, I got a lot of sweet fucking info from that. That was good. Oh, she's not actually wanting to do this, by the way. I don't know if you picked up on that or not. This is not like full go ahead consent, like, we're gonna do this. She just got a lot of inside info about the ritual site that we didn't have before. And she's going to have some compunctions about it. She's going to be like not altogether there, and it's going to be noticeable. So there you go. There you go, Elian. Your lover is not comfortable with this situation, despite trusting you. There you go. I don't know where we're going to take it from there. This is like so much pillow talk that has to happen. I don't know how to handle this in a D&D setting in a productive way. We could do like, I don't know, I guess we could do a write-up. We could do written RP too. I don't know if that would get me anywhere closer to where I intend to get. Because wow, did that take a left turn. But all of a sudden, he was just spilling secrets.
Well, where do you intend for things to end up then?
I want to convince him that this is a stupid idea. I still want to convince him we just shouldn't do the ritual at all. So we've gotten to the point where he will potentially kill his mother. Like, not kill, but stop. Stopping is on the table, which is really good progress.
That is pretty good progress.
I just need to convince him that, like, we shouldn't really take this either. Or I don't really want it, I guess.
And to clarify, if need be, the assumption of killing Mother to stop her, that's based on being able to, with your demigod-like power, to revive her again, or to undo what needs to be done to stop the family
Right.
from taking it themselves.
It's really tempting to just, like, go through with it and then undemigod myself. Oh, man. I don't know what she's gonna do. Not make a decision. For sure. You gotta make those big decisions, Aldia. You gotta make your first big decision and decide where that tree goes. You just gotta plop it down. Maybe it lives right in here. You just gotta do it. That's what Bob Ross would want. She won't. She won't fucking do it.
So let's take a little break. And Oswald, what are you up to?
I'm so sorry.
I'm here.
I suppose it's okay that no one else is here, since giving an hour to RP of just Aldi and Elion would be.
I secretly hoped that that would happen anyway, because I enjoy it, but I also realize that it's fucking boring for anyone else watching, and I'm sorry.
So sorry, Johnny.
That's all right. I was texting my girlfriend.
All right. Yeah, it's scheming with her about sacrificing 100,000 orbs.
Yeah, you know, it's normal couple things. This thing's normal couple talks about.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bleh.
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 Yo.
But you know what? Baby steps.
Man, we don't have time for baby steps. Last time was baby steps. This was like, no, you know what? This was a big step.
It was pretty big.
I'm just trying to figure out. I feel like in order to feel like I did my best in this campaign, we should find some time to do RP outside the session. I feel like this aspect of gameplay is an aspect of gameplay that is really boring for everyone else, but is really fucking important to our success as a whole. So I don't really know what to do about that either.
Yeah, if Tyler were here, he would just have been playing Dark Souls. That
I know, no, and if the same thing was happening with me on the other end of it, I would be asleep.
Yeah.
I don't. I regret putting the game. I regret my part in putting the game in this situation by seducing the bad guy. There were other ways. I don't regret seducing the bad guy. There were other ways we could have handled this. Right? Yeah. Shanna would not seduce the bad guy. Is not a takeaway, but is a positive fact. To a sequel near you. Man,
Well,
oh man.
well, she's got that going for her at least. She would not seduce the bad guy.
Is Mom a goddess though? Like that's at the end. Okay, I know the answer. I think already. I want to keep dramatic tension on my end. So
Yeah,
here,
let's keep it a surprise.
we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. Everyone's gonna have different input on this.
Yeah, because
Happenings and outcomes.
yeah, if you thought like half dragon, half elf wasn't anime enough, but also my mom's a goddess.
God damn it! Oh, that's too much fucking Mary Sue anime happening with this character. I hate it. I'm like trying to make her well-rounded and like not fucking stupid.
My mom is a goddess. My mom is also actually my father.
That's true. Okay, like you can't get rid of that angst. But once you realize she's a goddess, then you're like, oh, okay, it's not that weird that she's my dad.
Of course, she did that before becoming a goddess.
Yeah. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, that one time where she grew a dick and fucked a dragon.
I don't like to think about my mom that way.
It's causing me some angst. No, just wake me up. Can't wake up. Wake me up inside.
Oh, I know one thing. Questions that happen during pillow talk. I think we should at least go. I don't want to take up more time now, but I'm going to make a list of pillow talk questions. And I'll go through them with you at a later time. We're going to move on. We're moving on.
All right. So Oswald.
Yeah.
Back to So, the next day, Merlin has the renovation spell prepared. You also had time to buy 100 gold worth of powdered silver. Which really, you could just take silver and powder it yourself. But whatever.
Spells are spells.
Spells are spells. So, and let's see, how long does the spell last? Renovation.
It's casting time 8 hours.
Alright, so that's what he does the next day. Just fucking renovates your house.
Make small talk with Merlin while he's constantly casting the spell, but I'm also breaking his focus. While making it last a little longer.
Yeah, so after 8.5 hours, he completes the spell. And just like that scene from Howl's Moving Castle, it's like and boom, your house is renovated. He's closed up the wall where the rhino came through. It is now a completely new layout.
I feel safe again.
And Dungar and Horace sort of do half race, but half like fast walk to claim like the good servants' quarters.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter because it's both equally good. And in fact, there's room for more.
Oh, maybe I should get another. For this bigger house.
So, your house is now repaired.
Excellent.
I think they would have probably invited Sybil, and then she's just like, how long does the spell take?
Yeah, she shows up like an hour in and then is like, all right, I'm going to go get lunch.
Yeah.
Comes back that evening.
Oh, we're just about done. another half hour, maybe.
I'm going to go get dinner.
All right, well, it's going well. See ya.
All right, good. Comes back in an hour.
And like Merlin's just on the floor, exhausted.
Yeah, Merlin is on the floor. His voice is hoarse, and he's just like, Inagara de vida, corazón.
Despacito.
No, Merlin. Quickly. Not as the dwarves say. Despacito.
And then, like, afterwards, you're in the house as the incantation is completed, and then it just turns itself inside out. He's like, all right.
You're going to put me out of business. Well, no, you're going to put my crew out of business.
No, fuck this. Let them work. I'm not doing another 8-hour incantation.
Yeah, I think this will be the last time Merlin will be using this one in a while. At least until things happen in Toiva. Unless things need to happen fast in Toiva.
I guess that's why most people don't. This is a hell of a spell. I guess that's why most people don't do it. It's not much of a shortcut, is it?
Yeah, it's
only for time.
Yes,
Yeah, time.
And 100 gold worth of silver dust. I mean, that is the wages of a whole crew for months. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how long it would have taken. A couple of months, I'd say.
Except at the end of this, the gold dust evaporates, and then no one has that anymore. Whatever. You know what? Next time we need construction, I'm just gonna use my fucking wire.
Hey, yeah. I mean, why didn't you use that now? But you don't even sweat it. Don't even sweat it, Merlin. You did a fine job. I'm very happy with the results. Also, can that liar move dirt for my sex dungeon?
No,
curious.
just use the move earth spell.
Okay, all right.
That's how you
I'll
move
get a
earth.
wand. I'll get a
called
wand
move
next time.
earth.
No, don't worry about it. Here, take a portrait of Voltaire. All right.
Thanks?
most dashing man I know. Honest too.
He's hideous. What are you talking about?
He's buried underneath this ground. How dare you?
I know that, but honestly, half his face is human, and the other half is elf, and it doesn't match.
You know, you could say what you want about Voltaire, but that man wears his flaws on his person.
On his face.
On his face, unlike you, Merlin. And I can see right through you, too.
I'm insulted. I think I'm pretty transparent about my flaws. But that's done. Tomorrow I shall emancipate thousands of halflings.
Yeah. Is that the thing with the picking up of the free folk?
Yeah. Nazat and his crew have been setting up kind of a campground outside of Kodankal for them all to go to, and that'll be the launching point to go to Toiva. Just gonna make a big old caravan. And I hope some nonsense news story doesn't make a scary piece about a caravan.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
I was thinking current event jokes too.
Holy shit.
No.
Oh no.
We can set placeholders in place to make sure that doesn't happen. A little idea, maybe a little coercion.
I, for one, am happy we are not moving to a police state.
No, but I suppose it does need to be governed somehow.
You're the governor.
I am.
Haven't you got this through? That's a no, isn't it? You have not thought this through. Okay.
You know, I am taking inputs. If you have an idea of how I should govern this place, do tell.
Ooh. We could do it like how we did in the communes of my college. You know, equal labor. Everybody has sex with each other. Sheila does the laundry, and Bert will do the cooking, and it all works out. You know, they never had problems with the communes, did they?
Sybil's just like, oh my god, you need theory, don't you?
You know what? Sybil, why don't you and Nazat talk about this and...
Why me? Am I the political scientist?
You know what? I just assume that you're an expert in everything. You seem really smart.
Okay, if you want. I won't say no. I can't guarantee you will like the answers I have.
Well, if... I will take your input. I won't say that I will agree with everything.
Of course not. You are the supreme lord of Toiva. All the decisions comes down to your word alone.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Good. That is the correct answer. All right. I'll give it a gentleman's shot at something I think will be productive. A sort of constitution, if you will. And I have some friends who would have input as well.
Yeah, some sort of charter. That sounds good. Cities need charters, right?
Yes, of course. We should establish common values.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking with Nazad about that. But you know what? You think about that. My voice is so hoarse from this spell. Oh my gosh. Oswald, the polypurpose panacea.
Yes, I will soothe your throat. Here, take a lozenge as well.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
I just made it. I just invented it 2 hours ago. I had a lot of time while you were casting that spell.
What does it do?
It soothes your throat with ethanol and eucalyptus leaves, man. Eucalyptus. I also just found out about that 4 hours ago. I had lots of time.
Great. Now, let's see if I can get to work on this cloak for Aldia. Oh, I'm so behind.
All the stuff is done. You're working on that for Fahar.
Oh, I'm so behind.
You're behind, but not for who you think you are.
Alright, so I guess we can end session there, unless there's anything else you guys want to do.
Oswald sneaks out in the middle of the night. And he takes an invisibility potion, sneaks into the status 8, and steals all the paintings.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
Nobody needs these paintings. Plus 28.
Okay. Let's see. You have a bunch of art objects now.
Cool. Time to divide these babies up.
Sybil spends the night writing an anarchist manifesto and then sowing anarchy with the other night, the cat.
Awesome. But yeah, that's it for me.
Alright then.
Have good nighttime activities.
Oswald has the high enough perception to tell that, hey, I can't just leave these. These are part of our level wealth.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
All right, I marked it off in the loot page. And I'll divvy that one next session.
Alright, so that is... Let's, yeah, that is... let's just say you ransack the house for 2,700 worth of art objects and
Art miscellaneous.
art miscellaneous things you can pawn off.
Okay, 27.
Yeah, it was real tricky getting the dinosaur out, but eventually you you
What
got.
the hell? I wanted the dinosaur.
An extra trip. You can take your gold and the dinosaur away,
I just wanted the dinosaur. I don't want the gold.
and you can your gold portion will be the dinosaur. Some of it, at least.
That serves me right. I filched a bunch of stuff to begin with. Look, I have a lot of things to ask Ellie, and I will type that up tomorrow. In the interest of time, we have like 9 sessions left now.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Alright, so I do accept feedback. It doesn't have to be at the end of the campaign. But, so how did you guys like that session?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We needed to address this so long ago. It's on a list of things that are large-scale structural issues that we should address going into campaign 2. But I don't want to just dump feedback after session without everyone else putting in input. And also, I like to process emotions before I give feedback, because that's just, you should never give feedback realistically, like emotionally. But I enjoy that stuff because I like where it takes my brain, but we don't have to resolve it in session, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I like playing the intrigue character, but it's really boring for other people.
And Johnny?
I would say that it's like there's definitely some retreading of old ground when it happens, just because it's such, role playing in the moment is such a kind of scatterbrained, spontaneous thing that I almost feel a lot of it works out better in a more refined format, whether it's like you bring ideas to the table or you know what you're going to talk about before it comes up, or either in writing. Just that I guess just it's hard to keep it fresh, I know, like, because I'll want to. I understand, I've played those types of characters. That's all I really have to say. Other than that, I think we did a really good job in filling in for time.
That's a really good point. That would be another, I think, like, reason to take these sort of longer form, like, game impacting RPs out of the session, because if we do it in writing, we have a record of it.
Right.
That's like way more solid, because literally I was having deja vu going through it, and I'm like, I am so sure you asked me these questions before, and I cannot for the life of me remember how I answered. And also, like, this is not the first time that this has happened.
Yeah, I think you guys can tell by now that, like, I'm good at remembering some things but not others.
We all are going to have a variable memory, and also when you go multiple weeks with, like, side quests and downtime, like, people are going to forget stuff.
Definitely, yeah.
So that was just kind of my instinct of where to take the conversation kicking in there. Like, yeah, he would totally do this.
Yeah, that's
since I apparently just completely forgot about that part of the conversation with Elion.
Yeah, that's okay. That happens. I would just like a system in place next time for remembering what happened, I guess. Or maybe we just need to take better notes. I don't know. I would like to not handle this stuff in game anyway because it's too long and it's not party focused. Like that's the thing is like
Yeah.
the stuff that happens in session should be more party focused. I think is what I'm getting down to in like all of the feedback and like ideas and suggestions I'm processing and all the problems I'm seeing. We are a very non-party focused group, and it's super awkward when you get into these long solo sessions essentially. So we need we need something in place that catches when that happens and handles it solo outside of the session.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is starting to wear upon Tyler and Luke, even if they're not saying it.
Definitely. It's not just Aldia. It's all of us. It's literally every single one of us that falls into this trap of going and doing our own thing and splitting from the group for long periods of session time. We are all guilty of it. And yeah, it wears on everybody. Like I would be surprised if it wasn't wearing on them too. Yeah.
It's good to learn from these things. We are wrapping up the campaign, and we will be starting a new one. But certainly important feedback for you, Oliver. I'm not even sure how it's possible to curate or manage these sorts of things to kind of have the general consensus of the party go one direction. I've only DM'd a few sessions, but I'm sure with a new system, a new plate, and knowing what we know now, it'll be a lot easier to get everything.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. At least from my perspective, because I am a part of all of these side conversations that are one-on-one, typically, like, I think I've been slower to notice this to be a problem than I would from a perspective as a player.
It's definitely not normal. Like in other D&D groups, this is not a usual thing. So like it was fun at first, but it's become such a recurring pattern, I guess. But to Johnny's point, I think when we start with like new characters and a cleaner slate, we have a chance to really implement this feedback.
Change our patterns.
Yeah, for sure. And it already sounds like me, Luke, and Tyler are making characters that are very close to one another, and that is going to help party unity also. So we as players could also contribute to making sure we're not splitting the group next time. Now it's a little late. Now I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm gonna try not to be a shitty player and like dump all over everyone's good time. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see.
Nah.
Yeah, we'll work through it. I'm not like concerned or jumping ship or anywhere near that point. I mean, I'm lightly concerned in the fact that like I notice the things that we need to improve on, but I'm not about to jump ship because this is a good group.
Yeah, honestly, this is the group that I think legends are made out of.
Yeah, for sure. This is like we grow old together and are still playing together 14 years later or whatever, even though we live extremely far away.
This is session 100, guys.
Yeah, we're doing it.
How many years has this campaign been going?
Year and a half, 2?
It's been a year and a half for me and Johnny.
Yeah, I guess you have the real perspective on that, Oliver.
Yeah, because I think... When did Raelith leave? That was...
December, because that's when
December.
I think that's what December 2017.